Good evening, everyone. It's Peps and J-Dog. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's Tipped Out, Lace Out Sister podcast, bringing our tips your way each and every Thursday. Great week on the tips last week, I must admit. First of all, J-Dog, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, both teams had a beautiful win last week, and we weren't too bad on the tips either. You did pick Geelong over the D's. I was a little bit skeptical, but they did come in. But you know what? A massive round of games. A couple of clubs might have their futures decided by this week's games. I think the one that we're talking about first and foremost, the Thursday night game, the game that's going on virtually as we speak right now, Richmond versus the Saints. It's an absolute barnstormer right now. We're not going to give anything away, but whoever loses this is going to be in a little bit of trouble, not just to make finals, but for their season as well. And the thing is, both of these teams, St Kilda and Richmond, haven't played bad football. They've just been off certain weeks and on others. It's really a hard one to explain.
Well, haven't we got the matchup of the round, Peps? Player v player, Steele versus Martin. That's what we're all here to see, aren't we, surely?
Oh, yeah. I thought maybe Higgins versus Vlosten would have been a good one too. Or Nankervis versus Marshall.
Also good. So, Peps, where are we leaning? Teams who have had, as you said, Peps, you've said it perfectly. Interesting time. Not played bad football, but probably aren't where they thought they'd be at this time of the year.
No, look, I'm keeping it simple, mate. I'm going with who. Right, if I had to put these two teams on paper, hide who is actually playing and simply come down to who do I trust more? I trust Richmond. That's what it simply comes down to. In a game like this, who do I trust more? And I trust Richmond at the moment. So that's who I'm going with. I think it's going to be an absolute close one. I think I picked it by 19 points at the most. So it's not going to be a blowout. 19 points to Richmond tonight, Thursday night football, April 15. It's how I want my footy.
Well, the first few minutes are going to tell me everything about this game. Either we're going to have the Sainters from the halfway through the third quarter from last week, or we're going to have the Sinners who don't turn up like Essendon team. So I'm probably with you, Peps. I'm Richmond are a little bit more dependable because of we know why Richmond are dependable. So Richmond for me tonight.
Well, I'm simply also going, and one thing that I like to do is one thing that influences me is how many points how many quarters of each team won throughout the season. So far there's been 16 quarters of football. Richmond have won 9 of the 16 quarters, so they're going at almost 60%. St Kilda, for where they're sitting, have only won 4 out of 16 quarters this year. So St Kilda just can't score. But if they do it in a flurry like they did against West Coast last week. So you have to go Richmond.
Yep. No problem with that one there.
No problem with that one. All right. So do you think there's going to be much of a problem with what's going to happen tomorrow night? West Coast Eagles versus Collingwood, Optus Stadium. A couple of outs for West Coast. Collingwood, my goodness gracious, after losing to Toby Green's Giants last week, they're hanging for it. One more loss and kissing finals goodbye. There's infighting, apparently. Everybody wants Buckley's head. The players, apparently Pendles has a basketball background. I'm not too sure if you've heard that one this week.
Never, actually.
I wonder if it's going to come into play this week against the Eagles. Once again, the Eagles at home, red hot. You really can't tip against them. And it's once again, who do I trust more out of these two teams? I'm just going with West Coast because it's at home.
Peps, but you know that Collingwood won a game against West Coast last year with their backs against the wall. It's the same thing.
Oh, yes, good on. Yes, and it's really done lots for them, hasn't it, for the remainder of the season? I couldn't care less what Collingwood did last year.
Yeah.
Because Melbourne were poo last year, and we're going all right.
Yes.
We're going all right. Collingwood are poo. Don't rate them.
We've got the big one here, the big showdown. The big showdown. We've got the Grundy versus Nat Nui. We're going to see a ruckman who can work versus the ruckman who doesn't want to work.
We're going to see a first-class ruckman demonstrate his wares to the entire AFL community, and the other one's Brodie Grundy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Jeez. You know what? If I was Nick Nat, I'd wear a man bun just to take the piss out of Grundy. I don't even call him Brodie Grundy. He's just Brundy now because he doesn't even work hard for his full name. He's just Brundy.
Yep.
He's total waste of money. Sorry, total waste of money.
Let's just see if De Goey turns up this week. I don't know where we are at with our 1 in, 4 out sort of thing, or 3 out, 1 in.
De Goey, I don't think De Goey will do nothing. Degui will do nothing. Simple as that. West Coast by about 5 goals, I reckon. Easily. Now, I thought when you said the show, the superstar showdown was going to be this weekend.
I was being facetious.
Yeah, I thought it was actually the next game, which is happening which is what's happening at 4:35 p.m. Like, do you find this quite strange? For there's 4 games on Saturday afternoon, yet they all start after 4:35 p.m. Is that because of as I've actually stated that, it's because of the women's grand final is on at 1:30, 1:45 in the afternoon, so they're giving it clear air, which I like. So good on the AFL for doing that. It makes a lot more sense now. But the Doggies against the Suns. Look, Doggies on top of the ladder right now. They are barnstorming it. They're sitting at 171%, my friend. They're kicking scores. I think they've kicked the second most points in the league this year behind Sydney. Yet they've only let 239 points. They have the lowest scored against. So the defense is working hard, but their midfield is kicking goals, literally. And unfortunately, the Suns, it just goes to show, Witts was out last week, how much of a difference not having a ruckman in there. This could get ugly because we know the Doggies play sexy football underneath the lid.
Yeah.
That's Marvel.
And what I think you're right, Peps. And what a reverse in form. Last year, Gold Coast won this game by a few points, and this time I reckon it's going to be a smashing.
Oh, do you reckon Brucey could kick another 10?
Oh. Do you reckon St Kilda are a little bit dirty?
Nah. They got Dan Butler. They got Higgins. They got Tim Membry. Anyone who has a palm tree tattoo on the side of their arm really needs to have a good hard look at themselves. Okay, and the club who trades them needs to have a good hard look at themselves. That's why Sydney moved him on. All righty, Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so we're both going. Going with the Western Bulldogs. Rightio, the Battle of the Bridge, Sydney versus the Giants. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you'd probably think that this is a bit of a shoe-in for Sydney. Lock it in, don't about it. High-scoring team in the league. They've got a great defence. They're sitting at 133%. But what the Giants have done over the last couple of weeks, they did lose to Melbourne, but they didn't play too badly. And then coming out last week and beating Collingwood on their home deck. Also, if you throw in the fact that Sydney have lost a couple of key players, Isaac Heaney's gone out, and also Rampy, both with hand injuries. Teams haven't been released at this particular time, and it is going to be at the SCG. I reckon if GWS thought that they had any chance of beating the Swans at any time throughout the year, funny enough, you'd say it's now. Do I give them much of a chance? No, unfortunately. Like they've split their quarters, so they've won 8, lost 8. The Swans have gone 10 and 6, so they're just traveling a hell of a lot better. They're more consistent. They also got Buddy up there. Like the Buddy factor is immense as well too. So I know they've lost a couple of mid and back in terms of the Swans, but I think that what they've got in reserve is definitely going to cover what GWS are going to be able to bring to the party. So I think I'm going with Sydney, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was a little bit tighter than most people thought it would be from a couple of weeks ago.
Peps, you're playing very safe tonight, you know that?
I am. I think it's a bit of a safe round. I don't think that there's many surprises coming out of this round of football.
Well,
if it is, it's going to be the Thursday, Friday.
I'm going for a smashing.
GWS?
Sydney are going to do a number on GWS. 10 plus goals.
10 plus goals. Stick that in your multi for this week, do you reckon?
Oh, what's it worth? Jesus.
Oh, over 39 and a half? Oh, I could share what the 39
No, let's go over 50.
Well, it's over 39 and a half predominantly.
Okay.
We'll have a bit of a look-ski whilst we go through the rest of these games. And then we
write your own bet.
Write your own bet. Let's put a bit of a multi together. Gamble responsibly, of course. Third game. Now, this is going to be – I don't think it's going to be an interesting game. The only people who are going to be interested in it is literally Carlton supporters and Port Adelaide. It is going to be at the G, and everybody loves the G. 7:25 p.m. Carlton versus Port Adelaide. Look, Carlton did play good footy once against GWS. Port Adelaide did what they had to do against Richmond and did it well. From your more expert opinion, J-Dog, where do you see this game going, and where do you see the outcome potentially coming out at?
Where is it at? Yeah. Look, I think this is going to be a bit of a toit game.
Toit?
Yeah, these two played an absolute ripping game last year, Peps. Robbie Gray after the siren from the boundary.
Oh, Robbie just loves to do it, doesn't he?
I think I did one of my only live things on Lace Out after that game.
I think you did. I think that was one of those ones. What are you doing? Stop stealing me thunder.
Oh my God. I think I almost had a heart attack last week. If this does it the same again this week, I'm flatlined. I'm done.
I don't think you will, mate.
Port have had a lot of people out. We've got a lot of people out from last week's game. The fear is coming off the Richmond win, such a big win, the emotional high, whether we hit the low. Carlton, on the other hand, Zach Williams could potentially play this week. I think he's due back. I see this game tight, Peps. I see this less than a goal in it.
Seriously?
Yeah, I see it less than a goal in it, this one. It makes me nervous.
Do you think that they're going to pull you down to their level, or do you think it's more along the lines of you've just got too many people out at the moment to do something with it?
I think it's more the fact that we've got too many good players out on the different lines that could make me nervous.
Yeah, but I think the calibre of Port Adelaide is better than the calibre of Carlton.
Well, we'll see. I totally forgot this game was on Saturday night, so I might even try and get down to it.
Oh, hello, ladies. Saturday night, go down. Might be a good game to go down and see. 7:25 p.m. at the G.
It's a bit cold though, the G, sitting up on the fourth deck.
Mate,
I don't have the luxury of you.
No, J-Dog, it's always nice and cozy at the G, mate. Always nice and cozy.
Blankets to sit under.
At the MCC. Oh, we just had our tartan rugs and a nice port.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that at all. But all right. So I'm going Port. Are you going Port but by Bees Dick?
I'm going Port by Bees Dick.
Oh, okay then. Well, talking about Bees Dick games, this is the Danaher Cup. Brisbane Lions versus Essendon. Now, this one at the moment says that it is at the Gabba, 7:25 p.m. at the Gabba. Once again, the time it is going to Queensland. Is that right, Jamie? Do you know that is actually locked in?
Definitely. Yeah. They're back at home in their own beds.
All right, beautiful. So I'm going with that one there. Once again, if I went by the form ladder on this one, interestingly enough, going by quarters one, Essendon have won both quarters. So they're going at 50%, 8-8, and Brisbane are going 7-8. So very, very tight. But then if I had a look at the points scored, actually, looking at this, Essendon have scored more than Brisbane this year and have conceded just a little bit less. So, funny enough, I'm actually going for a bit of an upset here. Just on the way that they've played over the last couple of weeks, I think they're starting to get a bit of their Shea-Izzle together.
Mm-hmm.
I think Essendon might pull one over the Lions here. And if they do, the Lions, who we tipped to be at one stage, I think I tipped to be potential preliminary finalists, grand finalists, could be in a little bit of trouble to even just make finals full stop.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. Interestingly, though, Essendon have won the last two times this team met in 2019 and 2020.
Yep.
But I'm with you. But lock in Lockie Neal for 35 plus.
35 plus.
And I'm also interested to see future Port Adelaide midfielder Zach Merritt. I'm now keeping a keener eye on that one there. So,
well, that's good because he'll be playing for Melbourne next year.
I'm pretty sure it's Port Adelaide.
I'm pretty sure it's Melbourne. I'm pretty sure. Inside word. He wants to play with like Oliver and Petrarca. Imagine that. Oh, champagne showers. Let's head into Sunday, April 18. Once again, at the start of the year, if you looked at this game, you would have gone, this is not going to be too great. But 1:10 p.m. Sunday, Adelaide Oval. The Adelaide Crows, who are playing some pretty good footy, sitting in the 8 at the moment against the Dockers, who have just doing what they need to do at the moment. And this is actually, once again, another one of those games that I think are going to be tighter than we actually think too. So I think I've actually gone, funny enough, I've actually gone with the Dockers for this one over Adelaide. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why.
I can see why you would. More marks inside 50, more clearances. I can see it.
Statistically, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But when Adelaide are on, they're on. And they're at home. So, once again, statistically, you look at Fremantle and they've just got everything going for them. Midfield's humming along nicely. Forward line's doing what they have to do. Back line are just, doing what a back line should do, just save and run. But they've got the big Texan down there. And if he gets on fire again, good luck. The game is suited for him. If it's crappy weather, I'm going with Fremantle. If it's a nice clear day, I'm still going with Fremantle. But once again, it could be one of those ones. It could be tighter than we actually think.
Yep. I see your angle, Peps, but I'm going to go Adelaide because I just think that they are a little bit cleaner by foot when scoring. I think it's 24 disposals per goal versus 34 for Fremantle. So Fremantle are prepared to share it around a bit more, where I think this game definitely suits Adelaide. And as you said, suits Tex Walker. The ball just gets down there faster.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to be going up faster is the score at the MCG, 3:20 p.m. This is a Hawks home game, but reciprocal ticket rights for Melbourne members, so you'll be able to get in with your ticket as well for this one. 3:20 p.m, like I said, at the G. The Hawks versus the Ds. The Hawks have given Melbourne absolutely nothing over the years. They have just beaten us from pillar to post over the last number. Melbourne have snuck the odd one here and there, but I'm looking at it once again, just looking at the form line of these two teams. Look, Melbourne have only lost 4 quarters for the season, which is staggering when you think about like Melbourne usually lose a lot of quarters throughout. And Hawthorn is sitting 16th. They've only won 6.
Yeah,
Melbourne have just got, I know, interestingly enough, Melbourne have got a couple of injuries going into this game. The big ones, Bailey Fritsch has broken his hand and he'll be missing the next couple of games, which is a shocker for the next couple because he was attuned. And then you've also got Stephen May down the other end who's been playing All-Australian football and he'll be out for a couple of weeks as well too with the backhander he copped from the Tomahawk last week as well.
Peps.
Saying, yes.
You thought Apollo Creed looked bad against Ivan Drago after the boxing match. Bloody Stephen May's eye is another level.
Well, Apollo Creed was dead.
Well, that's
so. I think Stephen May is in a better position than what Apollo was, but
don't throw in the towel.
Once again, Goodwin said last week that he's not going to bring in Brown or Wiedemann for this week. Could you see them doing a shifty and bringing in Big Benny to play against the Hawks this week and just get him tuned up for the game a week later against the Tigers?
Isn't he still injured, Peps? I thought he still had that long-term injury. I thought he went to surgery in the off-season.
No, he just had a bit of a shimmy on his knee. That's it. It's all fixed. He played last week. He played in the VFL practice match last week.
You're saying Fritsch out, Brown in.
I would. What have he got to lose, mate? He's just going to run around in the twos.
Everything, Peps. Melbourne have got everything to lose.
And why wouldn't you? And then you have Harrison Petty go down the back. They don't have a forward line, Hawthorn. And who's going to stop Big Benny Barron and up forward? Or the Weed? I don't reckon either of them will come in. But if you want to try and give him a run against the Hawthorn backline.
Well, I'm actually
that's saying Petrarca will kick 6. Charlie Spargo for 4. Neil Billen will have 3.
And Clayton Oliver will lock down Mitchell to less than 10 disposals.
Tom Mitchell can have 400 possessions, mate, because he won't be able to give it to anybody.
Well, I'm just glad that Melbourne have really cemented themselves on the Sunday night spot. I think that's really cool on winter coming.
Oh, that's okay, because we're just saving ourselves for Anzac Eve the week later.
Right, is that how you're doing it?
That's our grand final, apparently.
I reckon, what's going on far off for you guys? You haven't won one in 57 years, something like that. I reckon the D's are going to take this one. Peps, they have beaten up on you. Hawthorn have beaten up on you, but this is the D's game.
We're going to belt the living bejesus out of this mob. I can't.
It's because you guys have more meters game per game, and I know you love that stat.
Oh, I love that stat now because Ed Langdon is a freak. Doesn't he get you? Doesn't he get you moist? All righty, last but not least, the Cats versus North Melbourne. The horizontal stripes versus the vertical stripes. 440 GMHBA Stadium. I don't think there's a worse road trip that you can have than going down to Geelong.
Careful.
It's cold. It's yucky.
Careful.
It's cold. It's yucky. The supporters are feral. All right. And the fact that North Melbourne have to go down there this week, it could get ugly. It could. Tomahawk could kick 38 this week.
Peps, does North Melbourne deserve playing on Sunday night? I feel that they're wasting that spot. I think there should be a better game.
I think they are wasting the graveyard spot. Yes, I do agree wholeheartedly. All right. I reckon if we gave them Monday night football, they would still waste that.
Peps, is Geelong big enough for a 2-team town? Let's not go to Launceston. Let's just go to Geelong.
Nah, go to Launceston.
North Cats.
Yeah, North Cats. Yeah, Geelong have got this one. This is going to be
Geelong
a 39.
So
what if I had to put a multi in for this week? I'd have Geelong over 39.5. I'd have Melbourne over 39.5. I would go into Sydney Swans over 39.5, and then into the Western Bulldogs over 39.5. Now, if you total all that up, that's a lot of money. Put your house on it, and Moolah, you could even maybe sponsor Lace Out. Throw a couple bucks our way. Keep us on the airwaves.
What you've just said is the exact definition of that Vince McMahon meme, where it's like, he's like getting back on the chair, getting more excited.
Yep.
You've just defined that.
I tell you what, there's people are going to listen to this. People over 39.5, 4 games. People are going to lock them in. And on Tuesday night, if that comes in, we want to hear about it. And if we're wrong, tell Jamie he got it wrong. Simple as that, everyone. Hey, look, it's going to be a bumper round of footy. Just a couple of things just to remember. If you want to buy a new footy, if you want to grab yourself a new footy, go to sharon.com.au. Throw in the code at the checkout. Lace Out 30% off your purchase. Go nuts. We want to see brand new balls flying around everywhere. All right. Last but not least, J-Dog, awesome work from you again tonight. Who's your certainty for this weekend?
I think my certainty this weekend is going to be Melbourne over Hawks. Peps,
Hawks?
I'm going to back your boys in.
Do it. Absolutely do it. My lock in, Doggies over the Suns. Lock it in.
Yep.
Lock it in. Just put the mortgage on it.
Yeah.
Worst case, you rent for a year.
Yep. Also, out there, listeners, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for all of that stuff. The support has been amazing this week, so we really do appreciate it.
It's been another record week for Lace Out this week. And the tips, you are loving the tips. Tell us if you love the tips. Leave a review. Go to the Facebook page, Lace Out Podcast on Facebook. Tell us like you like. Tuesday nights, we'll be broadcasting live. Listen to the main podcast as well, Lace Out. That's it, mate. We've got to go back and watch the footy because the game is on right now and we want to know who's winning.
Yeah.
More importantly, hope your team wins and we'll see you Tuesday night because, Jamie, how do you love your tips, mate? Your footy tips Thursday night, how do you want them?
I like it laced out, Peps.
You want them tipped out, you putz.
Oh, I want them tipped out. Oh, of course seriously. I do. I tipped out.
Oh, bugger this. All right. We'll see you on Tuesday, people. Have a great week. See you, mate.